Hello. Did you have a great sleep last night? Comment 2 to let me know. Tonight, let me guide you into the serene world of Buddha Gautama's sleep. Just hit like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll help you drift into a peaceful slumber. How Buddha's wisdom can improve your sleep. Once, in the tranquil forests of ancient India, a weary traveler approached the Buddha. His face was lined with exhaustion, and his eyes revealed the torment of sleepless nights. Bowing deeply, he said, "Blessed One, my mind is restless, and sleep evades me. I seek your wisdom to find peace in the night." The Buddha smiled gently and invited the traveler to sit under the Bodhi tree. He began to speak, his voice calm and soothing like the flowing Ganges. "Sleep, like a gentle breeze, visits those who live with balance and clarity. Let me share 3 truths that will help you rest deeply. 1. The burden of attachment. Under the soft light of the moon, which cast its gentle glow over the peaceful forest, the Buddha sat quietly beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. The air was still, carrying the faint scent of blossoms, and the only sound was the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze. The weary traveler approached, his face lined with exhaustion, his shoulders slumped under an invisible weight. With trembling words, he began to share his struggles. "Blessed One," the man said, bowing deeply, "I have come to you because I can no longer bear the torment of sleepless nights. When the sun sets and the world grows silent, my mind refuses to rest. It fills with countless thoughts, worries about what has passed, fears of what lies ahead, and desires I cannot fulfill. It feels as though I am trapped in an endless storm, unable to find peace. No matter how tired I am, I cannot sleep." The Buddha listened patiently, his serene expression never wavering. After a moment of silence, he reached down and picked up a small stone from the ground. Turning it over in his hand, he looked at the traveler with eyes full of compassion. "My friend," the Buddha said in a voice as soothing as a gentle stream, "imagine you were to carry this stone in your hand all day long. At first, it might seem light, almost unnoticeable. But as the hours pass, the weight of the stone would grow unbearable. By evening, your hand would ache, your arm would tire, and you would long to set it down. Yet, if you insisted on holding it even then, you would carry your pain into the night. Would it not bring you great relief to release the stone?" The traveler looked at the stone in the Buddha's hand and nodded slowly. "Yes, I would feel immense relief to let it go. But Blessed One, how does this relate to my restless mind?" The Buddha smiled gently and placed the stone back on the ground. "Your thoughts of worry, regret, and desire are like this stone. Each one you cling to adds to the burden you carry throughout the day. By nightfall, your mind is so heavy with these burdens that it cannot rest. The solution is simple yet profound. You must learn to let them go." "But how, Blessed One?" the traveler asked, his voice filled with both curiosity and desperation. "How can I release these thoughts when they feel so important, so consuming?" The Buddha gestured toward the horizon, where the faint outline of mountains could be seen beneath the moonlight. "When you climb a great mountain, do you carry unnecessary items in your pack, or do you take only what is essential for the journey?" "I take only what is essential," the traveler replied. "Then treat your mind the same way," the Buddha said. "Each night, before you sleep, sit quietly and reflect on your day. Ask yourself, which thoughts truly serve me? Which worries are within my control? Which desires are worth pursuing? Let go of those that no longer matter. Release them as you would lay down a heavy stone. You will find that your mind, freed from its burdens, will naturally grow calm and ready for rest." The traveler lowered his gaze, deep in thought. He closed his eyes and imagined himself placing each of his worries, his regrets about the past, his fears about the future, his unfulfilled desires onto the ground, one by one. In his mind's eye, He watched as the pile of stones grew smaller and smaller until at last his hands were empty. When he opened his eyes, he felt a strange but welcome sensation, lightness, as if he had been carrying an invisible weight that had suddenly vanished. The Buddha's voice broke the silence, soft yet filled with profound truth. Sleep, like peace, is not something you must force or chase. It comes naturally when you release what no longer serves you. Letting go is not a loss. It is freedom. Practice this each evening, and you will discover the gift of rest. The traveler bowed deeply, gratitude filling his heart. Thank you, blessed one. Your words have shown me a path I did not see before. I will remember this lesson and practice it every night. The Buddha nodded, his smile warm and knowing. Go in peace, my friend. Remember, the burdens you carry are not permanent. They are yours to release whenever you choose. In letting go, you will find not only sleep, but also the beginnings of true freedom. As the traveler walked away, his steps lighter and his mind calmer, the forest seemed to embrace him. The moonlight bathed the trees in a serene glow, and for the first time in many nights, he felt the promise of peaceful sleep awaiting him. 2. The power of presence. The next evening, as the soft hues of twilight settled over the forest, the weary traveler returned to the Bodhi tree where the Buddha sat. Though the weight on his face had lessened, his expression still held traces of unease. Bowing deeply, he spoke with a quiet voice. Blessed one, your wisdom has begun to lighten my heart. I have tried to let go of the burdens I carry, and it has brought me some peace. Yet, as I lay in bed, new thoughts creep in. My mind wanders sometimes to the regrets of the past, other times to the fears of the future. Though I try, I cannot seem to stop it from drifting. Please teach me how to calm the storm within. The Buddha looked at the traveler with gentle understanding. He gestured toward the still pond nearby, its surface glistening under the fading light. Come, my friend, he said softly. Look at this pond. What do you see? The traveler knelt by the water's edge and peered into its depths. I see the reflection of the sky, he said. The pond is calm and clear, and so it mirrors the heavens perfectly. The Buddha picked up a small branch and stirred the water gently. Ripples spread across the surface, distorting the reflection into a blur. And now? He asked. I see nothing clearly, the traveler replied. The reflection is broken and chaotic. The Buddha withdrew the branch, allowing the water to settle. Slowly, the surface returned to its previous stillness, and the traveler could once again see the sky reflected in its depths. Our minds are like this pond, the Buddha said. When they are calm and still, they reflect the beauty of the present moment with clarity. But when disturbed by thoughts of the past, worries about the future, or restless desires, they become clouded. The key to peace is learning to still the waters of your mind. Only then can you truly rest. The traveler sat back, his brow furrowed. But how do I still my mind, blessed one? It feels as if it moves on its own, racing from one thought to the next without my control. The Buddha smiled, his voice as serene as the evening breeze. The mind is like a wandering monkey, leaping from branch to branch without pause. But even a monkey can be guided. The tool to calm your mind is your breath. It is always with you, always steady, a gentle rhythm that anchors you to the present moment. The Buddha placed his hand over his heart and continued each night. Before you sleep, close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Feel it as it enters your nose, fills your lungs, and leaves your body. Do not try to control it. Simply observe. When your thoughts begin to wander, gently guide them back to your breath. In this way, you will train your mind to be present, like the still pond. The traveler closed his eyes and began to focus on his breath as the Buddha had instructed. At first, his mind wandered, chasing fleeting thoughts. But each time it did, He gently brought his attention back to the sensation of air moving in and out of his body. Slowly, he began to feel a sense of calm spreading through him, like a soft wave washing over the shore. After a time, he opened his eyes and looked at the Buddha. "I feel a quietness I have not known before. It is as if I am here, truly here, for the first time." The Buddha nodded, his smile warm and encouraging. This is the power of presence. When you dwell in the past, you carry its weight. When you fear the future, you create storms that have yet to come. But when you anchor yourself to the present, you free your mind from these burdens. The present moment is all that truly exists. Live in it, and you will find peace. The traveler bowed deeply, his heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you, blessed one. I will practice this each night, focusing on my breath to quiet my mind and anchor myself to the present." The Buddha looked up at the first stars appearing in the night sky. Remember, the mind is like the sky, vast and open. Thoughts are like passing clouds, they come and go, but they do not define the sky itself. When you observe your thoughts without judgment and return to your breath, you will find that beneath the clouds, the sky of your mind is always clear and still. As the traveler left the Bodhi tree that night, the forest seemed to echo the Buddha's words. The sounds of rustling leaves and chirping crickets blended into a harmonious lullaby. For the first time, the traveler understood that peace was not something to be chased or forced. It was something already within him, waiting to be uncovered. That night, as he lay beneath the stars, he focused on his breath, allowing it to guide him into the present moment. His thoughts began to settle like the still pond, and sleep came to him effortlessly, as gentle and natural as the rising moon. 3. The practice of gratitude. On the third evening, the traveler returned to the Bodhi tree. His face bore a softness it had not shown before, and the heavy lines of exhaustion had begun to fade. As he bowed before the Buddha, there was a quiet light in his eyes. "Blessed one," he said, "your teachings have brought me great peace. By letting go of my burdens and anchoring myself to the present, I have begun to find rest. Yet, there are nights when I feel an emptiness, as if something is missing. My body is still, my breath is calm, but my heart feels hollow. What must I do to fill this void?" The Buddha gestured to the sky above, where the stars shimmered like jewels scattered across a velvet cloth. His voice was steady and kind, like the murmur of a stream. "Look at the stars, traveler. Do you see how they shine without asking for anything in return? Each night, they illuminate the world simply by being. They remind us of the abundance in life, a beauty that is always present, yet often overlooked. Gratitude, my friend, is the key to filling the void in your heart." The traveler furrowed his brow. "Gratitude, blessed one? How can such a simple thing ease the emptiness within me?" The Buddha smiled gently and motioned for the traveler to sit beside him. He pointed to the forest around them. "What do you see, my friend?" "I see the trees swaying in the breeze, the moonlight filtering through their leaves, the grass beneath our feet," the traveler replied. "And what do you hear?" "The rustling of the leaves, the songs of the crickets, and the whispers of the wind," the traveler said, his voice softening. The Buddha nodded. "These gifts surround you every day, yet how often do you pause to notice them?" Gratitude is not about what you lack. It is about recognizing and cherishing what you already have. It is a practice of opening your heart to the abundance of the present moment. When you do this, the emptiness you feel will transform into fullness. The traveler looked down, thoughtful. "But how do I begin, blessed one? How can I practice gratitude when my mind so often focuses on what is wrong or missing in my life?" The Buddha reached for a handful of soft earth and let it slip through his fingers. Gratitude, like planting a seed, requires intention and care. Each night, before you sleep, reflect on 3 things for which you are grateful. They need not be grand sometimes. The smallest joys bring the deepest peace. Perhaps it is the warmth of the sun on your skin, the kindness of a stranger, or the simple act of taking a deep breath. By nurturing these thoughts, you'll cultivate a heart that is rich with appreciation. The traveler closed his eyes, his breathing slow and steady. He began to reflect on his day, searching for moments of gratitude. At first, his mind resisted, still inclined to focus on struggles and challenges. But as he persisted, small moments began to surface: how the breeze had cooled his face during a long walk, how a bird's song had brought a smile to his lips, and how the Buddha's wisdom had eased his heart. When he opened his eyes, they were filled with wonder. "I feel lighter, blessed one. It is as if my heart has been nourished by these small moments of joy," the Buddha smiled. Gratitude, my friend, is the foundation of peace. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you align yourself with the abundance of life. The practice of gratitude will not only ease your nights, but will also bring you clarity and contentment during the day. The traveler bowed deeply. "Thank you, blessed one. I will make this a nightly ritual, a way to end my days with peace and appreciation." The Buddha's voice was soft, yet filled with a profound truth. Gratitude is not just a practice. It is a way of seeing the world. When you open your heart to it, you will find that the smallest moments hold the greatest treasures. Sleep will come to you easily when your heart is full, for a grateful heart is a peaceful one. That night, as the traveler lay beneath the stars, he reflected on the Buddha's words. He thought of the moonlight dancing through the trees, the gentle rustle of the wind, and the warmth of the earth beneath him. He gave thanks for the wisdom he had received, for the peace beginning to grow within him, and for the gift of the present moment. As he closed his eyes, a deep sense of contentment washed over him, like the embrace of a loved one. Sleep came to him gently, carrying him into a dreamless rest as soft as the night itself. From that night onward, the traveler practiced gratitude each evening, and the emptiness he once felt was replaced by a quiet, steady joy. He learned that peace was not something to be sought in the distance, but something to be cultivated in the heart. And so, his nights became restful, and his days filled with a newfound sense of wonder and presence. The Buddha's wisdom had not only improved his sleep, but had also shown him the path to a more meaningful life. Goodbye, my friend. I imagine you're sound asleep by now. Wishing you a happy dream and a restful night's sleep. See you tomorrow for another peaceful night. Sweet dreams.